This is stuff you like, you can call me Ursa, and Pacific Rim, oh man, Pacific Rim, I don't think I can adequately explain the love I have for this movie. But I'm gonna try anyway. The plot, it goeth thusly. In 2013, there's a giant interdimensional tear on the Pacific Ocean's seabed. Absolutely freaking enormous monsters start coming out of it and proceed to mess things up. When they figure out that it wasn't just a one-off, they think, how are we gonna solve this problem, man? Giant robots. Genius. And so they do. They build Jaeger, giant robots, to fight kaiju, giant alien monsters. But then in 2025 the program gets discontinued, so all of the Jaeger fighting heroes are now outside the establishment fighting to close the breach once and for all. With nukes. And giant robots. The character stories revolve around Raleigh Beckett, Mako Mori, and Stacker Pentecost. There are some subplots too with science bros and fake Australians, but these are our three main characters. Raleigh's brother was killed in a battle with a kaiju, and Raleigh was mind melded, aka drifting with him at the time, because it takes two at least to pilot a Jaeger, and after this disaster, Raleigh left the program. But Stacker Pentecost, head of the now defunct Jaeger program, wants Raleigh back for one last mission, closing the breach with a giant nuke. No more kaiju ever. Sounds like a plan. Mako Mori is the engineer in charge of Raleigh's Jaeger, and as it turns out...
Mako! What was all that about? I mean, I'm not crazy. You felt it, right? We are drift compatible.
But Pentecost surrogate dad to Mako is not convinced she's ready to pilot a Jaeger because, you know, vengeance. Anyway, Mako and Raleigh become drift partners. It goes badly. It goes well. They go on the mission, they close the breach, woo, the world is saved, hooray.
The breach is sealed. Stop the clock!
Pacific Rim is gorgeous. I mean, Guillermo del Toro, man, just wow. And the thing is, it's not just pretty, it actually supplements the story. The secondary characters, for example, like Sasha and Alexis and the triplets, get background moments which develop their characters without them having to say very much at all. The scenes of the kaiju attacks are terrifyingly vertigo-inducing, and you really do feel like you're standing on the Golden Gate Bridge as a giant monster attacks it. Especially in 3D. Del Toro said that he shot the stick fighting scene between Raleigh and Mako like a sex scene, and yep, I would say it shows. And then there are the little touches, like Mako's hair stripe, which is blue, like kaiju blood. I just love that there is so much care and thought and attention given to what the film looks like. It's not in your face with its own cleverness, but it's not just utilitarian either. And if you're a fan of Guillermo del Toro, or indeed of visual storytelling just sort of generally, you should definitely look up his interviews. The man knows his business. Anyway, back to the characters. Mako Mori, regardless of the fact that the DVD cover does not in fact feature the actress's name, really? DVD cover? Really? She's the protagonist of Pacific Rim. And it starts with a fake out because you have Raleigh and the death of his brother, and you think that it's just going to be Raleigh as Raleigh Beckett, generic white guy hero with man pain, as the main character in the story. But he's not. Raleigh is in fact wise mentor and emotional support dude. And he loves Mako, which is another wonderful thing, but I will come back to it. The other thing I love about Pacific Rim is that even though it's a film in which the destruction of the world seems to be imminent, it is such a positive movie about humanity and the things that we can accomplish together. Humanity bands together to fight the kaiju, and the heroes, or the main three at least, are all genuinely good people. Raleigh Beckett, generic white guy hero, but he's not a douchey one. He's a genuinely nice, kind, emotionally intelligent man, and it's just wonderful. But Mako Mori blows him out of the water. And I don't mean that in a bad way, I just mean that she is brilliant in a way that very few female characters on screen get to be. I mean, you can be smart or randomly good at things, but she is genuinely, amazingly intelligent. She is a 20-something woman in charge of a Jaeger refurbishment program. She's a ranger, she's a fighter, and though she's more of an engineer than a scientist, her expertise is appreciated. No wonder Raleigh loves her. And actually, if you haven't seen that aspect of the movie, next time you watch Pacific Rim, watch Rally, and watch him especially every time Mako comes around, because all credit to Charlie Hunnam's acting. You see the hearts and sparkles and flowers in his eyes every time she walks into the room. Rally Beckett is a one-man Mako Mori Appreciation Society, and that just makes me love him even more. That and his really great abs. Now, there's often a lot of discussion about diversity in film and how you should have a wide variety of different kinds of characters, and it is very encouraging that of the three main characters in Pacific Rim, there's white dude, Asian lady, black guy. Good job, movie, but it doesn't just stop there. That diversity extends to the supporting characters as well. In the crowd scenes, if you watch, it's quite hard to tell because they're all wearing identical outfits, but there are men and women. Now, obviously Pacific Rim doesn't really have any major female characters aside from Mako Mori, something to work on for next time, perhaps. But you know what it does have? Newton Herman. You know what's great about Newton Herman? Two guys who have different kinds of disabilities, and it's not important. It doesn't impact on their role in the story. It informs their character, but it isn't the whole thing that the character is about. And they're amazing. 4 for you, movie. And speaking of science, Pacific Rim's treatment of science is very encouraging too. In Pacific Rim, science is a force for good, not something that is destroying us all, and it's also varied. I mean, they have 2 science guys and an engineer. And normally when you have 2 science guys in a movie, you have to have one who's right and one who's wrong. But that's not the case here. Herman is sort of the theoretical, cold logic and reason mathematician guy, and Newt is more of the get your hands dirty biology and empirical testing kind of guy. And Herman is right. And Newt is right about what is happening with the kaiju, and they learn to put aside their differences and work together, and it's all very heartwarming.
Say it with me, my man! We're gonna own this bad boy! By Jove, we are going to own this thing for sure!
You need to watch Pacific Rim. Again, if you've already seen it. It's got Idris Elba in it. It's got an amazing protagonist, it's got visual resonance, it's got emotional intelligence, it's got characters from lots of different countries, including some with some truly terrible Australian accents, but aside from them, it's fun and it's optimistic and it's grand, and I'm just gonna go watch it again, actually. See you guys later.